3 openings, all male, for Frank, Joel, and Josh. And we were shooting all of them in LA. And I gave them some time to kind of look at the script and pick who they wanted to be.
Perryman's bright idea about cutting off the guy's hand did not work.
And hands down, Joel wanted to be the bad guy.
I guess I play the evil bad guy and he's the hero. Yeah, right.
And his only request was, I want to have a Fu Manchu mustache. A lot of people want green M&Ms, Jack Daniels, fruit plates, and shrimp. He wanted a Fu Manchu mustache, so.
When we did Mystery Science Theater, there was a box here, and there's a really good reason for that, because I don't move very well. You know, if you think about it, just so you know what you're getting, it's what you're paying for. Okay.
Jesus.
I always had the idea there was going to be this robot called Simon.
One more for Perryman.
Simon, what the hell is this?
Don't look at me, I didn't do it. These guys have been dead for 300 years or so, right after you went under.
Well, who is this guy? I mean, what do you know about him? I want some answers.
They stunk really bad for a while, but after a bit it wasn't so bad really, and at least they were someone I could play with and talk to, and am I grossing you out?
I thought it'd be great to have Frank voice it because he had not voiced any puppets or robots on Mystery Science.
One of those things that makes you say, isn't it?
You gotta listen to Simon. If you're gonna play Darkstar, do not piss Simon off. You'll never see him again in the game.
That's it. Bite me, man. I'm out of here.
He goes through a wall hole.
Good luck saving the world, you big stupid.
You never see him again.
You really lost your memory?
Yeah, afraid so.
Okay, then I need you to pay back that $50 you owe me, and 312 years of interest. That's the killer. I take PayPal and Visa.
Before Dad actually agreed to put my robot in, I drew a bunch of different concept drawings, and there's a bunch of weird looking ones. And eventually I kind of got a regular main shape going on and color and stuff. And then Dad added detail, like the toaster for a head and the springs for hair, and that's how Mags came to be.
Don't look at me. While we are down here chatting oh so pleasantly, Perryman is up to some very, very, very nasty deeds.
I could help you, I guess, but, well, I'm not going to. Have fun.
Shoo now, Mr. Man.
I always had this idea of this Rod Serling diatribe. I love that thick, picture, if you will.
Finding life on a strange alien world can often mean finding death lurking very close by.
The narrator was going to be the guy that spelled out to you what you did and kind of poke at you.
Tending first to gory details, how does your life end? Drowning in an icy alien lake, or holding your breath long enough to be torn limb from limb by an unspeakable aquatic horror?
I can't imagine it not being Peter Graves. He's always been that voice to me.
Either way, a final sacrifice on this lonely planet means the search is over. But you never really did find your destiny, did you? No, it instead found you.
Came in and sat me down for about an hour before he read and asked me questions and gave me optional ideas for how to read a line. He gave me 3 pronunciations on Casa of Amontillado, which is a Poe reference.
Do you feel any need to say Edgar Allan Poe?
I think we're okay. I think most people catch that reference. I was more concerned with the pronunciation on Amontillado. Amontillado.
Yeah, it sort of depends what you're trying to do. If you're talking about an Italian play, it would be Amontillado. If you're talking Spanish, it would be Amontillado. And what I said, I do believe, was Amontillado. what do we prefer?
I think the way you did it sounded good. I was just thankful that you knew how to pronounce it.
Please pick the appropriate one because I'm a fool. He understood the Rod Serling reference.
So you're chastising him like Rod Serling for the next 12.
No, I'll be chastising him like Peter Graves. Rod Serling is dead. Forget him. Okay. Some meaty stuff in here. Woo.
Heavy Metal magazine came out, when I was like 14 or 15 years old. And one of my favorite artists was Richard Corbin. He went to the Kansas City Art Institute, but we went 20 years apart. Richard went to the Art Institute in 1960. I went 20 years later, and we went to the same school. He was this most accessible guy in the world. And when you idolize somebody as a kid, as an artist, at first it's hard to make the phone call. And that's when I thought he would be perfect to do some of these horror elements in Darkstar, like the dead bodies and the monster and those kinds of things, because I was already working with him for a good 2 years before he realized that I was a stupid, crazy rabbit fan from 1974. The 4 people on the ship, that's the big story.
Not only is there the whole backstory of what's happened to humanity that's very intriguing, there's also a whole story that's very immediate to all the characters.
Pick up, damn it, I know you're there. You and O'Neill are against me, but it won't make a damn difference. If it's the last thing I do, I'll stop both of you!
Johnny, I've got to talk to you about Burke. That ping that keeps showing up on my proximity grid, it's coming from his quarters.
One of the other actors for Mystery Science that I used in 2 roles was Mary Jo Peele. And she had a kind of a small part in the backstory movie, and then she lives on into the future as the voice of the Westwood. You get to hear her voice all throughout, but she also did that on Mystery Science Theater 3000. And she's very non-helpful.
I'm sorry I can't be of more help.
Her character, not Mary Jo.
Please forgive me. I'm so sorry, but the situation is much worse now. A secondary part of the upgraded order has just entered my system. Life support is now shutting down.
Well, that's just great.
Darkstar is a story that works where the viewer controls when what happens and everything, and no matter what you do, you're going to get the whole story.
Estimated time of survivability inside this craft is 45 minutes, depending on your physical health.
And it's all going to develop in front of you, but you're discovering it rather than just sitting back and letting it come to you. And that's what really intrigued me, because I just saw this great storytelling in Darkstar.
Westwood Main, stay online.
We're doomed. There's no way out, is there?
Paige? Paige, can you gain control? Paige! Paige, can you help me?
That's a whole new way of storytelling. That's the one kind of story that Shakespeare couldn't imagine. He couldn't imagine doing something where the audience was active rather than just a passive observer.
What's this Darkstar thing again? Is it a movie or is it a game?
When you're a maverick and you've got a maverick product, it's pretty tough.
I don't think he probably would have started if he realized the hurdles.
Something that kind of goes against easy definition is really hard to sell.
How involved Jeff has become in this thing. He's not going to know what to do with himself alone. Bless him.
But we managed to do it. And what's fascinating is people's reaction.
The fact that he's actually managed to do it.
And seeing it through from those early stages
is quite achieving.
And you can buy it and download it, put it on your computer and play it.
And I think what he's done is on par with what George Lucas wrought in Star Wars.
A J. Allen Williams production.